Hello BookTube, welcome back to my channel. This is Dario at Motley Reads. It's a Saturday morning, beautiful day here in Sweden. As you can see, it is partly cloudy, but very nice temperature. So finally spring is here. I'm having this light sensation here, so hopefully the video will be good. Maybe I should change the position. Yeah, maybe I should sit here like this. I think it's better. Yeah, it's better. Okay, good. So today we have a tag on the program. So I'm gonna do a vacation tag, and the vacation tag was originated by Steve Donahue. And in vacation tag we have a set of 9 questions that are somehow connected with vacation, I guess. So let's see. We'll start with question number 1. What is your favorite book about somebody taking a vacation? Now, I don't know how many books about taking vacation, but I definitely have a favorite, and this is this gem of a book by Jerome K. Jerome, 3 Men in a Boat. And 3 Men in a Boat, it is a book that is set in the beginning of 1900s. It's about 3 guys, 3 friends. I think he died in the early 20s, if I remember right, that are taking a trip with a riverboat on the Thames, traveling from Kingston, which is today a suburb of London on the west side, up to Oxford. And this is the book about that trip and their adventures on the Thames. It is very funny book. I usually am not big friend of books that are to be regarded as a humor genre. This is one of these books, but this book is really fantastic. What I also like with this book is that it has beautiful descriptions of nature on and around Thames. You really get this fantastic feeling of being on a river in England on a beautiful summer day. It's a really good book. I recommend this one. 3 Men in the Boat. Now in this edition, Oxford World Classic Edition, is there's a sequel, 3 Men on the Bummel, where they are middle aged and taking a vacation, but the boat one is the classic that I really like. Now let's take the next one. Again, my iPad. Need to quote. Yeah. Do you read travel writing, and if so, favorites? Now, do I read travel writing? I would say that I'm more kind of a guy that likes the idea of travel writing than being an avid reader of travel writing. I'm having this idea that I would really like to read lots of books of exploration and travel, written by Kapuscinski, for instance, and other travel writers, but it never really occurs. For some reason, I don't put my time into that. Maybe I should do that. When I think about the books that I like that could be categorized as travel writing, I'm thinking specifically of one book, and this is this book here by Agatha Christie. And here is Agatha Christie Malawan. This is her full name, and Malawan because her husband's name was Malawan. Sir Max Malawan was a renowned British archaeologist. And this book is called Come Tell Me How You Live, an archaeological memoir. So Max Malawan was a well-known archaeologist that was working with the Middle East. So Agatha joined her husband on his explorations, and here is their journey diary. that she wrote, and it really gets you back into 1930s in the Middle East, and when in the early days of archaeology, where you had all these noblemen archaeologists running around Middle East and Egypt and excavating. So this one is my pick. Now there are some other books that I also own that I didn't read yet, but that I will at some point read. Here is one of them, or basically it is 2 volumes by Sven Hedin. Sven Hedin is a Swedish explorer, was a Swedish explorer in the beginning of 20th century. He has been doing a lot of travel writing. Unfortunately, his reputation is very, very bad. And the reason for his reputation being bad is because he was Nazi. And he was friend with Adolf Hitler, and known as a defendant of National Socialism. So he himself destroyed his reputation, but his explorations and his writing still stands. And this is the 2 volumes called From Pole to Pole, and it is like it sounds, from pole to pole. His travels around the world, and this edition here is from 1911. So this is printed. This very book is printed in 1911. It's beautifully typeset with all these original photographs, and you can imagine the smell of this gem. I found it at a used book shop. These 2 volumes here I got for approximately $12. So this is very, very good buy. Another book that I also own, but I didn't read that, and at some point I will read, which is travel writing, is this one. It is written by Arthur Evans, and Arthur Evans was also a renowned archaeologist, working known for his work around the Minoan culture on Crete. So this is his journey journal called Through Bosnia and Herzegovina on Foot during the insurrection, August and September 1875. So when Turks withdrew from the Balkans, they left a melting pot of cultures that Arthur Evans wanted to explore. So this is his travel journal. So these are some books that I didn't read, but the one that I read, Agatha Christie one, it's a good one, especially if you're interested in humanities and history of archaeology. It's a good one. What are your books on vacation rituals? Now, that's question number 3. So books on vacation rituals, to me, it's I typically prepare for vacation by making sure that I have finalized the book. I always have some book that I read, that I finalize the book just a couple of days before vacation, and that I then start on a new one. So that new one will be enough for me to read it while traveling, while flying somewhere. And once I have come to the destination, so I should be done with that book. So the first thing that I will do at the destination, once we have checked in and so on, then I will look for a bookshop and buy reading for the vacation. So that's basically the ritual. And then what happens, if I arrive somewhere, I don't know, if I come to Boston, for instance, I would be reading a book on a flight. I would land, I would check in at the hotel, then I would get out to Cambridge, visit Coop and Raven Books, and buy books for my reading, and I will read that, and then I would during vacation continuously buying books, and for a 7-10 days vacation, I would typically end up with buying about 25-30 books, maybe. It sounds like there is a name in Latin for this condition of mine that I have. It should be. I don't know what it is. But this is basically what I do, and the consequence of this is every time we go on vacation is that we need to have an extra bag with us, empty bag, for the books that we are bringing back home. So this is books on vacation rituals. Ritual that we have is the same for me and my wife, because both of us have this rare medical condition that I don't know name for. Number 4, what is your favorite book you found or read while on vacation? The book that I'm thinking of is, where is it? This is there. Is this book. I really like it. I read it during vacation first time. Kazuo Ishiguro, The Remains of the Day. I read this one summer 1998. July 1998, when I was on a vacation in Greece, on the island of Santorini. So I read this book. It is my wife's book. She had it. She read it. She loved it. She said, you have to read this one, and I took it. I read it, and I loved it. It's a fantastic book, and I don't need to talk to you about this, because you avid readers probably already know, and what is it all about. If not, you have probably seen a movie with Anthony Hopkins and Emma Thompson as a main having main casted for main characters. Now my English is extremely bad. And also Kazuo Ishiguro, he won Nobel Prize a couple of years ago as well. So there are other very good books by him. So this is the one that I pick for this question. Now, number 5, have you ever light fingered a book from a vacation stay? Light fingered, I guess that means stolen. If it means if I stole a book, the answer is no. I've never done that. The whole idea of stealing, I wouldn't really. No, I couldn't really bear myself if I did that. So I've never done that. I have found once when I was a kid, maybe 10 years old or so, at the hotel, a cartoon that I took with me home, and I didn't know it at that time, but I know it now. It was in Swedish. Cartoon of Selma Lagerlöf's novel, Nils Holgersson's wonderful travel through Sweden. She's also a Nobel Prize winner, and it's about this kid that flies on a goose back over Sweden, this beautiful country, Sweden. So now I know it because I remember the picture. So it's the same book as the people read here in schools. Number 6, some of your favorite books set in exotic locales. Now, what is exotic? That's the question, yeah? So I'm kind of interpreting it like, kind of Southern Pacific or Caribbean kind of places, maybe. That could be exotic. It could be the Amazon. It could be exotic. So I will pick up a couple of books. One here is that it is non-fiction book, but I like it a lot. There's a movie also. The movie was terrible in my opinion, but the book is really good. The Lost City of Zed by David Gran, and it is about the hunt for El Dorado. And it says 1925, the legendary British explorer Percy Fawcett ventured into Amazon jungle in search of a fabled civilization located deep in the deadly wilderness. He never returned. So this was really good, and I also read it on vacation. I read it when we were on vacation in Canada, and I found it actually at Coop in Cambridge. See, everything connects. Second and third, I will pick. Where are you, darling? There. Yeah, okay. So this Robinson Crusoe. This is a Swedish translation, Robinson Crusoe, by Daniel Defoe, from 1700s. A classic. I'm sure you know the story, so I don't need to tell you about it. But this, I read it as a kid, and I read it a couple of times, and it gives me, romantic feelings about Southern Pacific. I've never been there actually, to these islands. I would really like to go sometime. But this is one, and then the second one is this. This is also, I loved it so much when I was a kid. Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. Also classic. You know what it's all about. Also fantastic book. So this is the books in exotic locales. 7. Do you think the coronavirus will kill us all? Do I think the coronavirus will kill us? No, not all. Some of us, obviously, and yeah, it's a complex topic, and I'm not sure I'm the best expert to answer that question. And what is really troubling about coronavirus is that this political action that is surrounded, because the populist politics that we have today, it's only populism. It is very, fast-paced. It is fueled by social media, by everything has to, you need new information continuously. So new decisions are made, boom, 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 boom. But, the science, and we know this about science, I know it as a former scientist, it is a elaborate process that takes very, very long time of, disappointments and hopes and until you arrive into something that is actually useful, into something that you could call an insight. It takes very, very long time. So this process is now in open space. We see it in the media. We read about it. The populists are talking. The general public doesn't understand how science works, and then they don't trust scientists because scientists, they don't know anything, and then who knows, the populist a-holes. Excuse my French. So it is, I'm really, really disturbed about this whole thing that is surrounding this coronavirus. But if I think that it will kill us all, not coronavirus, but something else could kill much more than us. And speaking of Daniel Defoe, he wrote a book. I have it here. It's also a translation in Swedish, Pestens år. A journal of a plague, I think it's called in English, and this is about the great plague of I think it was 1665 in London, and this really, it was the illness that could kill all, and it killed a lot of people. And this is his journal. What is quite interesting here, it's a work of fiction because he wasn't there at that point of time. It is based on interviews and documentation that he wrote. I think it's 50 or 70 years later. But here, they're following also these statistics about the deaths and speculating, and there are rumors, and there are everything that is happening right now around Corona happened back then. If you read this, you can see the parallels really. But now I'm diverting from the whole vacation thing. I mean, this is Steve's fault because this coronavirus really. Yeah, okay, let's leave it. Number 8. What was the last book you read while on vacation? Last time I was on vacation, it was last year in July actually. We were in London, and I bought this book. I bought several books, obviously, but the last one that I read, and I remember reading it in the apartment that we rented, and then on the plane back home, I finished it, is this one, The Autobiography of Malcolm X, which is definitely one of the best books, best political writings I've read, and definitely one of the best biographies I've read. There are two parts of this. First part is written by Alex Haley. He wrote the whole book, but the first part of the book is about writing this book and about Malcolm X as a person from the perspective of Alex Haley. And then the second part of it is the autobiography as told by Malcolm X to Alex Haley. All the stuff that's happening right now in the US, and we know right now at this very moment what is going on, you can connect back also to the period where Malcolm X was living, and his and the fight of his life is related to what is going on right now. So I think that we will have occasion to speak more about this when everything settles down, which always does. But this was the last one, and it's really fantastic book. I can recommend it to everyone that didn't come across it. And then finally, the last is to tag people. And I'm really curious to hear from some of you. I'm thinking about 3 guys: Noah, everyone who reads it must converse. I'm thinking of Lukáš, Totally Pretentious, and I'm thinking of Jason of All Blues chapter and verse. I would really like to hear from you the answers to these questions. And again, Steve, thank you for initiating the tag. So I hope that some of these books have inspired you, and I hope you like them. And if you read some of them, and if you want to read some of them, just leave me a comment. Let's converse. Bye.